and welcome back to Face It with Dr. G. Me. That's stupid. No, let's start again.
That will be in it, though, and we'll cut back to you.
Hi, welcome back to Face It. I'm Dr. G, and today I have with me Erin Curtin. She is a member of the GFACE MD team. She is the director of all things patient experience. I'm so happy to have her today. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. So I did want to talk to you a little bit more about the patient experience portion of, like having this office and everything that you do. When I come into work, I'm very front end of things. When I see somebody walk in the door, I'll do their paperwork with them, I'll grab them a drink. But when it comes time for a consultation, I bring them into the back room, and the second that I close that door, I'm no longer in it and seeing the experience. It's then, behind that consultation door, it's Dr. G and the patient. And I want to talk to you a little bit more today about what goes on behind that door, where, how you approach this, what you guys discuss, how do you first start analyzing your patient? Do you start looking and analyzing their face and their movement as you're just talking to them? Do you kind of get to know them and then really take a look?
Yeah.
So will you teach me a little bit more about that,
Yeah, because she'll see them when they come in the door and then when they leave, and it's a magical place in that room. But my assessment really begins the minute the patient walks in the door, and we've talked about that too. I mean, seeing the patient, how they hold themselves, how they hold their head, their facial expressions, how their facial features move together. It's an orchestra, I always say. It's not about one feature standing out. There should be harmony, and God forgets no one, essentially, right? So everybody has beautiful features, and we want to enhance those. And so the minute the patient comes in, we want to make sure they have a great experience. We want to make sure that they're comfortable. And then when they come into the consultation room, I want to know everything about them. And as I hear about them, I watch their facial expressions and I see what they say and how they say it and how they have their posture and they hold their face. And let them tell me what they're worried about and focused on. And so once I know that that's clear and it's clearly communicated, then I open it up and I say, well, do you mind if I give you my assessment and my full evaluation from top of the head to the clavicle? And we can go from there. And a lot of times I don't want patients to feel overwhelmed, and I do have that consultation process and time permitting, we can do a treatment then. But as you know this, I want patients to feel comfortable receiving this knowledge, knowing it will be a lot and it takes time. And so the best results take time. So let me give you this knowledge. Let me explain to you why I think this and this and this will be beneficial for you. And oftentimes patients come in and they're focused on either the smile lines or the nasolabial folds, or they're focused on their under eyes. But there's ways to enhance the appearance overall, and there's ways to diminish maybe an unfavorable appearance or something they don't like by changing areas of the face that aren't that area. Okay, so let's say somebody's focused on the nasolabial fold. Let's talk about lifting them and rejuvenating them. So the focus is higher up on their face, and we don't even really focus on that lower portion of the face. So all of that education is what I give them as tools in their tool belt to then say, wow, okay, I get it. Now I see. Pointing out little asymmetry shouldn't be awkward for patients because they either already know it, or they're like, wow, now I understand why this side I've always, want to take photos on the other side because this side I just never looks right. Well, it's because we age differently. Our sides of our face don't age the same way most of the time. So that's how I do that. And then patients feel educated. We either make a plan and say, let's start here, and we can start small. I like to see my patients back for those follow-ups. And many times, other people will say, how do you get your patients back for the follow-up? How do you get them back for the pictures?
I
just
set
want
up
to
their
come.
follow-up before they even leave the door. And
Mhm.
I think that it's amazing because when a patient comes in here, whether it's for the first time or the 30th time, sometimes they'll walk in, they'll have a little bit of apprehension in their voice. They'll have 1,000 questions, or, they'll walk in and they're super over the moon and excited and they're ready to get in the chair. And, the second that consultation door closes, once again, when they walk back out and they come to see me again before they leave, immediately it's like the whole tone has changed. They're very calm, they're very collected, and every person I've ever seen walk out the office door after their appointment it's almost like this level of confidence that wasn't
That's
there
what's the
before. It's
best.
like this little fire is like sparked within them, and you see it in the way they hold themselves, in the way that they sit, in the way that they speak, and it's so exciting to get to be a part of it and to watch the difference. You know, like there are before and after photos of people, but there's no way to really capture that before and after experience that you see when you're in the office, and you get
Hmm.
to see the difference that has come with them having the opportunity to spend time with Dr.
Yeah.
G.
And that's what's so important to me is it's the overall experience. And I'm not at all saying that every patient's easy. And I have a lot of very difficult patients, and I have a lot of difficult patients that come from a far way away to receive an expert opinion. And it's all about education, transparency, and expectations. And so even if we haven't achieved their optimal goal after the first time, they know that. They're excited to come in. They're excited for the relationship, excited to continue the process. That's what's so awesome.
So we know that transparency and education has always been very important to you, especially being honest with your patient and the person that you're seeing. The one thing that I'm a little interested in your approach is, we've had plenty of patients that walk in and they're, oh, I need this filled, I need this fixed, this is drooping. And they're like, fill me up, do more. Like, I'm ready for it. Like, I've done this before, I know. And, you're kind of like, all right, like, let's take a step back.
Hmm.
Let's take a few things out, and
Yeah.
then we can adjust, then we can add things back in. How do you approach a patient that's had injectables before and you're like, I want to take everything out of there before before I put anything back in? Like, how do you approach them and be
Yeah.
like, hey, like, I know that this is for you, I know you want to feel great about yourself, and I think that we can achieve that, but first we need to
Yeah.
take out what's existing. Like,
Yeah.
how do you
Well,
let someone
they're
know
in my
that?
office for a reason.
Yeah.
So they're in here because something has happened or they want a different opinion. And people are very educated this day and age, which is a really great thing. And that's why I have this YouTube and why I made FACEit, because I want to give the education. I want to teach people, not only because selfishly then they know and they feel like they know what to expect and what to talk about, and it requires less talking on my part, which I love to talk, but so that side of it is great, to educate the public. And also I think um, you know patients just, when they look at themselves in the mirror, we're all very harsh on ourselves. And so I'm here to tell them that it's not about the volume of injectable. It's not about the amount of filler. I don't go based on number of syringes. I go to the result. And that result is often much less volume than we think it is. And when that volume is placed in the right places, you can affect the way the muscles sit and the way the bones are structured. You can affect the way the ligaments are held up. And so that's why anatomy is important. That's why this whole idea of filling spaces is really not the way I approach things.
That's
And
fair.
it's great. And I
Yeah.
love it.
And I definitely noticed there is a certain level of quirkiness in the office, and it comes a little bit from all of us, but I will say, like, Dr. G is
We like to have fun.
definitely, there's never a day that I walk in here and I don't learn something new and I'm not laughing, and it's always an experience. I've never had a bad day here, which is amazing. Who can say that at their job? But one of the things that I'd really like to kind of touch in on is you're not entirely conventional. Like, how do you see that being such a strong asset for yourself? And like, do you think that that's sort of what changes the direction with, patient experience?
Conventional in what way?
I don't know how to explain it. Like, you have these little quirks where it's exciting to be
Yeah.
around you.
Well, I appreciate that. I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of passion just in my body for what I do. And I love what I do. And, everybody makes mistakes. And I think that, I'm always working on myself and I'm always working to be better. But it's not about the end result. If it's about the end result, what are we doing? I'm here to enjoy it, getting all emotional, here to enjoy it and here to love every day. And everyone says, what is your biggest dream and what is your biggest goal? And I'm like, is it wrong to say I don't know? I mean, in my mind, I always wanted to do FACEit and I always wanted to have a YouTube, and I do have ideas, but I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. I always prioritize my medical education, my knowledge, my injectables, my patients. That is always top notch. And then when it comes to the business side of things, I like to have fun. I like to be very professional. I'm a very big perfectionist. But you have to keep your knees bent just a little bit because you never know what's ahead of you. And business ownership is hard, right? But it's about surrounding yourself with great people.
I think you do an incredible job of
Thank
balancing
you.
not just like running a business and like being the boss, but you're constantly encouraging all of us to improve, to learn more. I have absolutely no background in aesthetics. It's not at all what I came here anticipating learning. And now, like I have all of this knowledge. I can
So great.
look at a patient and spot something, and like I know that you gave me that knowledge.
Yeah.
And I love your approach on that. I love the way that like every patient every day, like it's a new lesson and it's something that people retain. And I think you do a fantastic job, and not just providing that opportunity for your employees, but for every patient that walks in here too. I think that everybody walks out knowing a little more, being a little more confident, and I feel like that really stems from their experience with you know?
And you too. I mean, it's the whole team. It's a team approach. And hopefully in episodes on YouTube, I can give you little bits and pieces of info that I hope you can take away. Hopefully you can take away something with this segment. Just some little pieces of I don't know, advice that have helped me, that I've learned that I didn't know. So I'm so happy that you guys listened. I hope that you learned something today and you got a little bit of the journey and you got to meet Erin, which is awesome. Head down below and comment. Let us know your thoughts. Send us your questions. Follow us on Instagram, GFaceMD. Go to our website, www.gfacemd.com. You can learn more about us, our team, what we're all about. We can't wait to see you on the next segment.